Now, before we get into it, I just want to say that you guys can probably tell by looking behind me, I'm in a completely different room now, and that's because I actually moved. So the one spot that I used for like talking head videos and all that stuff, I no longer have access to. So we're gonna be using this room from here on out to be doing these type of videos, unless I can figure out something with a different room in this new place. But that aside, Legends Festival 2025 Part 2 will be happening very, very soon. And I figured now would probably be a really good time to start thinking about what the new units could be for that event. Now, I have a few things in mind. Primarily two things that I could see happen, but obviously anything is possible. Now, with Part 1, we got fusing Super Gogeta from the Janemba movie alongside obviously LF Super Janemba. But I would think that for Part 2 of the Legends Festival, they could do the inverse of that and give us a fusing Vegito Blue. Now, to be fair, last year we did get a transforming Vegito Blue for Legends Festival. The thing is, when it comes down to Vegito Blue, it makes sense to pair him with just, obviously like any iteration of Gogeta, and same with, Gogeta pairing with Vegito. But the problem I kind of see this time around is with Vegito Blue. If we were to get a fusing Vegito Blue for, Legends Festival Part 2, we could get that unit, but I don't see any villain being paired with them, because they could go off of the same theme of like hero versus villain, like what they're doing for Part 1 with Super Gogeta and Janemba. But we already got an LF Fusion Zamasu at the beginning of the year, and then we recently just got an Ultra Half Corrupted Fusion Zamasu, and obviously that's the main antagonist of that arc. So seeing that they've already been covered in both LF and Ultra form, unless they're gonna give us another LF Half Corrupted Fusion Zamasu, but again, that wouldn't make sense because we just got him as an Ultra unit. So I don't see that happening. And what's crazy is, it would be really cool if we got a fusing, Fusion Zamasu. The problem is, we've had multiple opportunities throughout this entire year to get fusion, units with that mechanic, the Synchro Gauge. Again, the beginning of the year, we got LF Fusion Zamasu, didn't come with the gauge. Then later on, we ended up getting LF Kefla, didn't come with the gauge. And then, what else? We did get the Ultra unit of Half Corrupted Fusion Zamasu, but again, that's an Ultra unit, so that unit not having the gauge kind of makes sense. I think that's acceptable. But now, we did get Super Gogeta, and he has the gauge, but he was also paired with Gotenks, and Gotenks doesn't even have the gauge. So it's very clear that they're going to try to focus on, the Goku and Vegeta fusions with that gauge first. So the only other characters that I could think of that would be left would be obviously Vegito Blue, and then Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. But we'll have to see like how they go about all of that, right? Because personally speaking, I think that if we don't get another villain like paired up with the hero, then they could do two heroes, and one character that could work would be a brand new Rage Trunks. It's been forever since we've had like a premium like summonable Trunks, right? So I would love for us to get one as like a brand new LF for like Part 2, and just in general too, because there's a lot of things that they could do with Rage Trunks. Even to this day, I'm still shocked that the first Rage Trunks unit we ever got in the game doesn't have a Zenkai. Don't know why. But still, I would love to see Vegito Blue, like a Synchro Gauge fusing Vegito Blue paired up with an LF Rage Trunks. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then they can kind of like throw some unit as like the 1% Sparking Gun, whether it's like Mai or something, I don't know. But I think that'd honestly be pretty cool. If they were willing to like double dip with like units, then I think at that point, it's obvious that it needs to be Fusion Zamasu, point blank. Because I'm still shook that with last year, they paired up Vegito Blue with Goku Black, like Rose Goku Black, which made no sense because Vegito Blue never fought Goku Black at all. Like by the time he hopped on the scene, or on the scene, like it was, Fused Zamasu was already a thing. So I don't think that they should try to pair those two together. Again, it made no sense. But that's just one option that I would like to see for Part 2 of this year's Legend Festival. Now, when it comes down to the other option, I'm actually very shocked that this didn't happen during the anniversary. I think anniversary would have been a good time to make something like this happen. But if not, then Legends Festival would actually be a good opportunity for them to finally cover this. I could see it being Daima. Now, the reason is because out of, current Dragon Ball media, Daima is the least represented thing, or one of the least represented things in multiple Dragon Ball games, right? Because a lot of games have Dragon Ball, a lot of games have Dragon Ball Z, a lot of them have GT, and a lot of them have Super, but not a lot of the games have all of the Daima content. I think Sparking Zero is probably one of the games that has like a good selection of them. Xenoverse 2 only has 3 characters, and then, I don't know like how much Dokkan has. However, if it were to be Daima, I would think that it could honestly... Okay, if they were to do this, the only thing that I can think of realistically would be us getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini, which honestly should have happened first. But Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini and Goma. I don't know how we don't have Goma in the game yet. That makes absolutely no sense to me. But we could get Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini and Goma. Now, whether or not people think that's like Hypernaut is like, up in the air, but we did have Daima as part of the Legends Festival last year. So it's clearly, at least to the dev team anyway, hype enough to be part of that festival, right? So it could be that. We could also get like Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Mini. Like, there are characters. There are definitely characters that they could, pick from. But I would think Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Mini, Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini, and Goma would be at that like higher end at this point, because I guess like for a 1% sparking, they could give us Piccolo Mini, they could give us a Supreme Kai Mini, like they could figure something out, right? Like, they could even give us Pansy. I don't know, right? But for the 1% sparking, they have a lot of options. But for LF units, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Mini, Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini, and Goma. Now, as for Goma, I don't know if they're gonna do regular Goma that transforms into, I guess the stronger version of him, right? Because you do have like, Third Eye Goma, right? Which is like the big, like buff version of him. And then you have Giant Goma afterwards, right? So I don't know if they're gonna cover like Giant Goma, because obviously Giants are not playable in Dragon Ball Legends, but they could do Third Eye Goma, or like just regular Goma that maybe transforms into Third Eye Goma, because Third Eye Goma is like the size of like, Broly, like, other characters like that. Like, I was gonna say, Rudigarn, I don't know what that popped in my head. But characters of the sort, like Hatchak, for example, just tall and imposing, but not necessarily a giant. So they could do Third Eye Goma like that to throw him into the game, which I think would actually be pretty cool. And obviously it would buff the Diamond tag, because that tag hasn't been buffed since like the beginning of the year. So they could realistically do that. Also, I just realized too, for 1% sparkings, they could finally give us Tamagami 1 and 2. I don't know how we don't have them yet. I generally don't. Like, I don't think that the Tamagamis are LF worthy at all. And obviously, like, out of all of them, I think the most popular Tamagami is Tamagami number 3. But we could still get Tamagami 1 and 2 into the game as 1% sparkings. Maybe they work well with Tamagami number 3, or whatever the case may be. But still, like, Dragon Ball Daima has options that could fit Legends Festival, and I think would honestly work out pretty well. It's just if they will actually tap into that, and that's obviously up to them. But honestly, that's really all I've got, because I'm sitting here thinking, oh, like, what about movies? The current part is movies right now. Like, yeah, it may be like, fusing Super Gogeta, but that's still part of movies. So I don't think they're gonna like tap into movies again for part 2. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I do think like certain buffs for like certain characters on certain teams makes a bit of sense when it's around like, the super hype moments, right? So that could be Future, that could also be Daima. Like a lot of things have been covered this year too, like a lot. So we'll really have to see like what they do. But as of right now, those are probably the 2 options that I can see the most where they could just tap into and have that be part 2. But of course, I can be entirely wrong. And there's probably like options that I just didn't even think about, but you guys probably did. So I do want to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think the new units for part 2 will be? Again, let me know in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm Ndukauba. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.